yeah, no one's coming to save you. It's a new year, new me, whatever you want to call it, but no one's coming to save you. You have to be your first investor. So yeah, I was talking to, one of my friends about like goals for the new year, like everyone else does. And yeah, I just came to the realization, and I was telling this friend that yeah, no one's coming to save you. Like, you have to save yourself this year. Not even this year, with anything you want to do in life, you have to save yourself. You have to be the one to put things into action to save yourself. No one's going to come and save you. And yes, some people might give you advice here and there, but you have to be the one that's going to save you. Like, no one's coming to save you. Like, because what I've seen in life these past couple of years is people, being in your problem, just letting your problem become your identity, become who you are. Every time you speak to, somebody, it's the same problem. It could be you're trying to get a new job, you're trying to, I don't know, increase your earning potential, maybe love life problems, whatever it is, or maybe like serious problems as well in life. And yeah, what I've just realized is that we don't challenge ourselves enough, We don't challenge ourselves enough. Like, things could be going wrong, and it's like you don't want to help your situation. You don't actually want to take a step forward and solve your problem. And I think everybody just needs to actually like realize that life only changes if you change, No, you can't beat yourself up about maybe not pushing yourself as much in the past, but like, life is the now, Life is the now. If you're not going to do it now, if you are not going to take a first step, things won't change. So, I've seen situations where, I'll be speaking to certain people, and they got certain problems and these are problems they've been having for years. Like, it could be something minute, like, I'm going to get into the gym. These times you have a gym membership. The gym is literally 10 minutes from your house. You drive, or you can even walk to the gym, and you're still not going. And it may be a situation where you don't even have like things like, children or anything like that, where it's like, it's going to make it more difficult. Like, you've actually got the opportunity to go. Or you can have things like where you just keep putting it off because, anxiety, or you're scared, or you're caring about what people think. And realistically, I can tell you now, it's not that. It's not that. You got to go in and get what you want out of life, because I can tell you now, I've been seeing situations lately where, life is short. It's becoming more real by the day. Like, you're seeing certain people lose people, certain people are going, and you kind of realize that, life is fleeting. Like, life is short, and then you're going to let what people think, first off, people that maybe acquaintances or family members that are there because they're there, distant family members, those ones where if you could pick these people to be your family, you would put X on the list before you came to Earth. Those kind of things where you're family by blood, but you're not really family by, like, they're not nice people, whatever, and all they want to do is tear you down. You ain't got time for that. You ain't got time for that. You ain't got time to let people's distractions like get in your way, or how they've been beaten down by life to get in your way. So I had a situation where, so one of the homies, one of the friends, for a long time has been wanting to kind of, step out there and do something on there, something that's completely left. It's a completely different field they've wanted to get into. And it's not that it's impossible. Obviously it's difficult, but everyone's kind of saying, yo, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And I had to tell them, like, no, you can do that. Don't let people put you down. Yes, you're going to have to work hard. Yes, you're going to have to go back, learn, read, whatever. But this is genuinely what you want to do. You need to go after it. You need to actually go and save yourself. Because I can tell you now for free, life is if you don't live your purpose, if you don't live what interests you, what you like, if you're not achieving goals that you have for yourself, like, you'll be miserable. You'll be miserable. You won't be fulfilled. And I think that's what a lot of people are going through right now. Like, where you could be feeling depressed, you could be feeling down in life, and it's because of those things where you're not genuinely fulfilled. Like, there's some people that they have a good job on paper, they have the good life on paper, they have everything, but they're not fulfilled. There's that niggling thing that they've never shared with anyone that they've always wanted to do. It might not even be so far-fetched. It might be like maybe someone could be a caterer and they're like, you know what, I've actually always wanted to be in accountancy or something. But it sounds so preposterous because maybe you've got like 20 years experience or 15 years experience as a professional chef or whatever. And now you're like, oh, I've got to start again. But that's always what you've wanted to do. And I think you got to save yourself. So I think this year we all got to, no matter how crazy your goal is, you got to go after it and realize that it starts with you. Like, people can give you encouragement, people can give you advice, and you always got to know deep in yourself, like, you can't run from yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't run from yourself. So if you're going, oh yeah, I want to do this, and you're not doing it, you know that you're not doing it. There's that little voice at like 12 o'clock at night that'll be like, you didn't do the thing, you ain't done no progress towards what you want to do. That's what you want to do, yeah? And you just push it down. And it's sad because I've been seeing it lately where some people can go their whole life and then they get old, where now you don't got the energy, you ain't got the time. Well, you've got the time, but you haven't got the energy, you haven't got that vigor, the youthful energy to chase what you want to chase, and then it turns into resentment. And I think a lot of people is resentment from older generations, from older people, always wipe off. So it could be like a thing where maybe you're from a background where what you're trying to achieve is so inconceivable, they've never seen it before. So you're telling people, expecting like encouragement, a word of encouragement, they don't give it to you. And it's like, oh no, they're just telling you, oh, don't do that, pack it in, do this course at uni or study this, that's never going to work. But you have to, because you could be the first person to make it work, because all you need is one thing. You just need to be that one person for that thing to happen. And then for everyone now to say, oh, there's a way to do that. We see it like, let's look at back in the day where you couldn't tell somebody you wanted to game professionally for money. Like, how many of our parents was like, all you do is play games all day? Is that what you're going to do when you grow up? Or put the PlayStation down? There's people right now that get paid good money to play PlayStation. They stream. They're professional gamers. They go to gaming events. They get sponsorship deals and all these type of things. And it only took like one or two people to start seeing it happen. You see it with social media, where back in the day when YouTube was just starting out, people were putting up videos on YouTube. You didn't know what was going on. It was just like people doing it for fun. And you're now seeing some people now, they've retired their parents off YouTube. They've retired their parents off social media, where your mom and dad they didn't even know what it was. You see stuff like that. Like, I remember like back in the past as well, where I used to hear certain people, yo, I'm thinking of doing this YouTube thing. Nah, they just never said, like, they always like let people talk them down. And then when you look at it now, they're like, oh, that person actually accomplished the idea I came up with. I had that idea 5 years ago. That person's just implemented it, and they're gone. They're gone. They've achieved it. And you just kind of see the regret in that person's face, where it's like, I should have just listened to me. So I think this year, one of the biggest things this year is it has to start with you. You have to be your biggest investor. If you don't invest in yourself, no one's going to invest in you. Everyone says it, but I think it's mad, because if you think of it on a daily basis, many of us don't invest in ourselves. And what I mean by that is we don't invest in what interests us or what we like. We don't invest in skills. We don't even invest time and then space in our mind for what matters for us. Because, depending on your background, how you were brought up, what you saw around you, a lot of that stuff might have there's a bigger influence out there that's kind of like restricted your vision, restricted and limited what you see around you. So you can see situations where you might have an idea, okay, you might just have, maybe you're interested in something mathematical. Maybe you're interested in working with your hands, but then everyone around you don't work with their hands. So then they're talking down on what you're trying to do, but you have to be the one to like kind of take information and implement it nicely. And that's also not to say that people as well can't give you constructive criticism as well. Like, I think one thing I've realized is that it's criticism. People, we take criticism wrongly. So for instance, yeah, you know, like if you think of what life is, if you think of what love is, yeah, love is from anyone, your mum, your dad, your siblings, whatever, extended family, is giving people what you would want for yourself. So if somebody has had their dreams, aspirations, like destroyed by the world, they've tried to do something, they tried it, but it didn't work out for them. When you ask them for something similar or in that vein where you got to step out, they'll, in their mind, genuinely, they want good for you. They might be saying, I don't want you to try and then get a crushing defeat when you try to achieve what you want to achieve like I did. So I'm just going to tell you not to do that thing. So it's like, you don't take it personal. And at the same time, you use the critique as, you know, a plan or to create solutions. So for instance, let's give an example. Let's say you wanted to be an artist. You love drawing, or you've got a little knack for it. You're not really professional, whatever. You're telling people, I want to be an artist. Like, you want to paint pictures and all that, canvas. Comment, like, and you might tell your parents, you might take your family, whatever. They might say, oh, what money's in that? What money's in the artistry? How are you going to provide for yourself? All that kind of stuff. Now, if you're in the infancy of that plan, you might go, they don't know. They're either going to take two ways. You're either going to not do it, or you're going to have resentment and say people are dumbing down what you're trying to do. No. What you're supposed to do is, sometimes those questions are genuine. The question isn't, are you going to do this thing or not? It's, how do you do this thing but still have money to cover your bills? So it might be, okay, you got to scale it. You're not going to start and be the biggest artist straight away. You're going to take steps. So you may be, okay, I'm going to have this job here, and in my spare time, this is what I'm going to do. And then maybe you're going to set up a social media. Maybe you're going to create a website. Maybe you're going to start doing little things here and there on the side to get it going, to get the ideas going. And then from there, you start to understand what you're doing. And then, you know, there'll be ups and downs. There may be, you know, failures here and there, but you take the criticism on board, so you don't just jump out the window on the plan without, you know, money coming in to cover your phone bills or rent or whatever it is. It's taking the criticism and actually using it on the journey. Because I've seen situations where people are like, they've just jumped out the window, gone, yes, I'm motivated. They quit their job, jump out the window, and there isn't a concrete plan. And then people that are questioning, have you got a plan? You're taking it as resentment. And then you're not using what they're saying to actually create solutions for the plan to be more steady. So what does that mean? If someone comes to you and says, this won't work for whatever reason, it's up to you to take the emotions out of it and actually realize, okay, this person may genuinely want good for you. Is there something in what they're saying? Is there a solution, or is there a way you could pivot that it makes sense, and you've like avoided a shortfall that you didn't see? So why I say that is because I've seen situations where people either, you know, haven't wanted to do something because they've taken it like, it's impossible. And it's like, they've said this thing to me and I don't have an answer. And it's like, no, keep doing what you're doing, but think of an answer. As you're doing it, answers will come. So it may be someone will tell you, this thing's not going to make money. It's not going to make money. It's that you need to find a way for it to make money. Either you reduce your costs, or you increase your price, or you change your clientele, maybe, let's say. Or it could be as well, you know, using your brain to kind of think of ways to fund what you're trying to do as well. Or saving up as well. Betting on yourself. Because that's one thing I've realized as well. This year, not even this year, like with any plan, you have to bet on yourself responsibly. And I say responsibly because you also see people that bet on themselves, and it's in a destructive way where if this thing doesn't work how you want it to work, everything's collapse. And you can't do that. You need to kind of be measured with what you do. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, and this is where people mess up, because it's like you either get two types of people. You get the people that are just impulse, gonna do it. We don't care how. And you get the other people that never try. So for me, I think you got to be in the middle. You try with responsibly with what you can, but you also take the approaches day by day and also have a plan. So Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not gonna get to the end of the line in a year. It's a journey. There's steps to this. You know, sometimes you've got to have a 5 or 10 year plan. So the year plan might be, let's take the artist example. I want to be an artist. I'm going to, this year, the plan may just be to get a certain amount of reach, certain amount of followers, certain amount of, maybe certain amount of views on your website, whatever it is. That's year one. Year two could be, okay, now we're going to try and turn a profit. Now we're going to, you know, maybe start selling some pictures or even giving them out for free to build up, you know, buzz and clientele and all that kind of stuff. And you build on from that. And year three might be, okay, now we're making a bit of profit, turn over a certain amount of profit. And you go from there to there. So by 10 years time, you might, by taking it a step, like a measured approach, you might actually go to a place where you never knew you could go. And also as well, by doing it like that, you don't burn yourself out, because also what you see is some people get really motivated and then they put so much energy into it and they burn out. So it's like the gym example. Like some people want to go to the gym. You see the gyms packed in January, February, March, gyms are packed. June, July comes, they're empty. Some people have attacked it hard for 2 months, didn't see the results, and then said, this is not for me, and packed it in. When that's not the case, it takes time. So you got to take time, and you also got to find the balance for you, because we're humans, we're not machines. What do I mean by that? As a human, you can't go flat out all the time. That comes to mentally, physically, whatever. You can't go flat out all the time. There's times you have to go flat out when there's a goal in line, when it's like, okay, if I put this in, I'm going to get here. I'm going to get this project off or whatever. But you can't go flat out all the time. It has to be measured, and you have to find what is your balance. What's that sweet spot? Do you see what I'm saying? So it could be maybe once every couple of days you're going after your goal. Maybe that's your sweet spot. That is enough that you're doing something, but it's not too much that you burn out and then one day you just can't be bothered to do it. That's what I think. I think that's the way. But I think 100% what we have to know is you are going to save yourself this year. That's what you have to do. It starts with you. Because I was talking to someone the other day. They want to have a career change. And I was saying to them, okay, you know this career change, you're going to have to go learn, do courses, all that kind of stuff. And then the first thing was, I don't want to spend that much on a course. I don't want to spend that much time. It's going to take a year plus to learn this. It's going to take a year plus to learn that. And I said, do it. I said, how much did you spend on holiday last year? You spent a certain amount, right? You spent, a couple £1,000 on a holiday. Then the question is, okay, you're going to spend £2,000-3,000 on a holiday, going on holidays, but you're not going to spend half of that for your own betterment, to improve your capabilities, your mind, and actually make you happy. It starts with you. And unfortunately, sometimes that skill, that experience, that discipline, that habit, I would say, of just doing the investments in yourself, upskilling, reading, learning, or even just practicing what you like to do and just getting, okay, this is what I want to practice, and getting the information, paying for the information, and then putting it to use. We don't do that. We don't practice that all the time because we sometimes, I think subconsciously, you don't see or envision that if you invest in yourself, you're going to go so far. And it's sad because sometimes we always see it as a cost, when it's like, no, it's an investment. Because at the end of the day, if you don't invest in yourself, no one else will invest in you. If you get a skill, or if you learn a bit of information that you're going to use for what you want to do and what you actually are interested in, you're going to go far. No one's going to stop you. And I think we need to do that. And, you also got the other type of people that maybe you don't feel right. You don't feel fulfilled in life. You don't know what your goals are. For those type of people, I think you need to try everything. within reason, or try some things that you think it could be. Because you have some people like that are like kind of stuck where they're not happy in life, but they don't know where to start, or they don't even know what it is they want to do. For those type of people, you need to try certain things, because unfortunately it could be in some cases that when you were brought up, maybe you didn't get those chances to explore that. Because I was listening to one podcast a couple weeks ago where they were talking about like how children are supposed to be raised, and it's like it was saying when you're really young, when children have nothing but time on their hands, you're literally supposed to take them to get them to try lots of different things. And then what you're supposed to see is, as they're trying different things, so maybe they might try sports, it may be, okay, you're going to try, basketball, football, athletics, rowing, mathematics, spelling, artistry, music. There's so many things you're supposed to throw at them. And through when they're doing these different things, it may be like, okay, they do this, they pick it up, they don't like it. They do this, they pick up, they don't like it. They pick this, they do this, they kind of like that thing. Let's get them to get more involved in that. And then from there, that's where you're supposed to actually develop interest and skills in something that you're actually naturally competent in or naturally interested in. Now, of course, different backgrounds, people have different things going on in life, different backgrounds, different circumstances. That doesn't happen, That doesn't happen. You don't get put in, some people don't get put in things like that. So then what happens is you grow up, you kind of do the normal thing, academic, read, whatever, that kind of stuff. And you don't explore what you naturally have and what you might have a natural knack for. So then what happens is you go through school, secondary school, university, you come out of university, now you're like your early 20s. Now you're in the big wide world and you actually don't have a plan or even an inkling of what you want to do in life. You don't know what you want to do in life. You don't know what interests you. And unfortunately, it's like at an older age, you now have to go back and do some of that exploring that you should have been allowed to do when you were younger. And then it turns into a thing where now you have to be bold enough and take that step to go, you know what? What's happened is happened, but you want to change the future. You want to change what happens. So you go, you learn, you do what you got to do. Maybe you say, okay, maybe you might be somebody that's a people person. You like to talk. Maybe it might be you're doing a career that's not people based. So it may be, okay, you might have to maybe public speaking, maybe, sales, maybe, some calls, maybe high-end customer service, maybe, something that involves people. That might be what you have to do. You might be somebody that's been very academic based, and then maybe you want to do sports. Maybe now you're like 30 something. You're like, okay, are you going to be in the Olympics at 35? Probably not. But then you might be able to do something where you're helping the next generation be in the Olympics or be in sports. Or maybe you might want to be like a PE teacher or something. There's so many things, but you got to kind of take that step, learn, understand what you like, what you're good at. And then from there, you can now start to say, you know what? I've been doing this for a few years now. This is what I want to do. Then now you have a plan. There's a purpose. And I think a lot of us, that's where, unfortunately, we go wrong, where we don't have that, where it's like that purpose, that thing that kind of gives you the ability to wake up in the morning and go, yes, this is what I'm doing today, and I like what I'm doing. We don't have that, because without purpose, that's where you get people that on paper, they can have everything. Like I've seen a situation where somebody's got, big paid job, big money, everything. And they were miserable because they had everything on paper, but there was no purpose in it. There was no purpose. There was nothing in their soul there was no fulfillment in the soul of what they were doing. And it got to a point where it was like, you know what? Bun this. And then they actually walked away from a good career and then to something that they liked to do, but it paid lower. But because they liked it so much, by the time they now got into it, got experience up, they're now getting more than what they were getting paid before. Obviously, there's years between that, but you see these situations all the time. So it's like, you got to save yourself, man. You got to save yourself. You can't wallow in your problems as well. And you got to respect people that are going to tell you the truth as well. That's a big one. So you see when you're complaining, and you're venting, but you're not annoyed about it to do nothing about it, And you might have one or two real friends that are gonna say you, bro, what are you doing? Like, are you gonna improve your life? Are you actually gonna do what you're supposed to do? Like, you've been complaining about this. Why did you do X, Y, Z? And you're taking it as, oh, this person, they're not listening. No, they're giving you the realness, the solution. Because I think, you know, with life, you need to be solution based. You need to be solution based. That's why no one's coming to save you, because only a few people will give you a solution, a genuine solution with good intentions. That's the first thing. And then also, some people will just give you the whole, sorry about that, or that's bad, or they won't give you the real. So only you are going to know the solution for you, because people can advise you, and it's good to take advice when you can see where it's coming from and use it to advantage. But you know what the solution is for you sometimes. And sometimes you might just need someone help to see it, but you know what makes you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good. So you have to take the steps. And if you're not taking the steps, of course, it could be, you know, you don't have the know-how, you don't know how. Find the know-how, do a course, learn up about something, YouTube things, whatever. And then sometimes it's a case of you just actually realizing that, look, you got nothing to lose. Like, I see some people do this all the time, where they're like, oh, what if this, what if that? It's like, well, you, at this point now, you have nothing to lose. You're not happy. So at least you could be happy. And if something happens, at least you're happy that you're on the journey to what's going to make you happy. And right now, you have nothing to lose. So you might as well, like, if you're hitting the lowest point where, like, you don't know what you're doing, you might as well go for it. At least you're going to gain a bit of skills, you're going to put yourself out there, and you don't know what's going to happen at the end of it. But it's better than just sitting there and just waiting, because I tell you for free, regret is the worst thing. Regret is the worst thing. I've seen regret in people that are so old, to the point where you feel so sorry for them, because now they're looking back going, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have tried. I've seen some people are living a life I wanted to live. They've achieved what I wanted to achieve, and now you're just stuck with regret. But now you're in a position where it's so difficult to do anything about it. So it's like, are you going to let that be the story? No, you got to get up and do something about it. You know, you got to save yourself. Because one thing I've realized is, if you put your mind to it and you're genuinely putting what you want to put in, you notice that people will genuinely want to help you. Like, you know, like, if you see, I don't know, let's give an example. You know, like, let's say somebody's trying to, I don't know, do football in school, yeah? You know, like, there could be someone that's really good. Technically, they're better than everyone else, but they're just taking it blasé. They're not really putting it all. Then you see somebody else that's not as good, but they're genuinely putting it all. They're like, what can I do to get better? They're trying. You will see that people would naturally want to help the person that's actually trying. They're actually trying. They're actually giving it a go. And what you might see is, at some points, the person that's naturally talented will lose out to the person that's putting the work, because they're actually trying. And then what's happening is, as they're trying, they're getting help, they're getting experience, they're getting directions from people around them, because we naturally want to help the underdog. We naturally want to help people that try. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're seeing a marathon going on and you see somebody that's really tired, they're almost there, you're going to cheer that person up. Come on, you're almost over the line, kind of thing. Like, everyone likes a genuine trier, that, you know, you're trying genuinely, humbly, and you're taking advice. You're asking for, you know, what do you think of this, or how do you do this, or, oh, I've been trying to do this, I'm not sure about this. And they're genuine. There's no ego to it. You naturally want to help that person. Whereas you might have someone else that they might have a bit of an ego. So yeah, I think this year, put yourself first, decide where you want to go, and start working towards it. Find your balance. It's not going to be built in a day. You're not going to make progress overnight, but you got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, life is short. You want to look back at it when you're old and say, you know what? I gave it all a go. I tried this. I achieved this. I done this. I got fulfilled doing this. And even if you don't make it to the top of what you're trying to do, you're still there. You're saying, I gave it a go. I really tried. And you want to be able to look back with no regrets and say, I gave it all a go. I may have failed sometimes. I may not have got the mark every day. But when you look at it after 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you gave it a go. And you can't, when you look at yourself at night, you can go, I gave that a go. Like I left it on the table. Whatever I had in my tank to give that day, I gave it with, and in my mind, I can't fault myself. That's the best thing you can do, because you never know what's going to happen. We live in a world where the impossible just seems to be happening all the time. People that you write off seem to be like the top of the game the next year. You just never know. So, yeah, just thought I'd do that video. Like, comment, share. Any topics you want me to talk about, comment below, and I'll catch you on the next one.